welcome back to the podcast. My name is Curtis, and today we're going to be talking about film school. And this is a subject that's been brought up to us multiple times over the years, whether or not what we did actually, and then what we would recommend, whether going to film school is worth the money, or kind of something what we did. It's like interning. So I wanted to pass the question off to you guys. Firstly, and I kind of already know the story, but I'm just asking the question because we're brothers.
For the audience, yeah.
What did we do? Explain what we did.
We got introduced to film, and then we hopped on like a small feature, and then from there we just started learning, and then we started interning, meeting other people, and creating new connections. We got a few people asked us whether or not we were going to go to film school, and they never really. I don't know if it ever really crossed our minds whether or not we were.
I mean, it was definitely a viable option. I mean,
I know we talked about it a few times.
We were too poor.
We were too well, I mean, outside of being poor, which we could enter debt like everybody else. I mean, I think there was obviously discussions about whether film school was a good idea or not. I believe that the people we worked with was a huge factor in that, because a lot of them had gone to film school and had been in the industry for 20, 30 years. And they weren't recommending it, and it's primarily because of what they've gone through. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the same everywhere. There's a lot of people that are within the unions, a lot of people who have that prestige that comes from going to certain film schools, whether it's out in LA or whether you go to New York Film School. But I know that one of the conversations I had personally was about the Vancouver Film School of the the Dramatic Arts or whatever it is. I do remember some of the conversations I had online with several people about, what's the viability of going, how much is it, blah, blah, blah. And I think there came a point where, when we started having work either handed to us or, we started getting accepted to some of these smaller projects, whether it be through interning or with, basically no pay, that I think after maybe even the first project, really, I think I was almost completely sold on not ever doing film school.
Yeah.
And it was primarily just because of the experience that we gained while being on set, but more importantly, it was the friendships that you built, and I think we all three came to the quick realization that it's more about the people even more so than what you do or how good you are at it. Because in a lot of situations, based off of your character and your attitude about your work ethic and how you interact with the people that you're working under, no matter how bad you may be at it, if you're willing to learn and you're humble about it, those relationships can really bloom and blossom, which it did for us, and it greatly aided our ability to grow within the industry.
Mm-hmm. And I think we also thought maybe it was a better idea to invest that money that we would have spent in tuition towards gear.
Oh, for sure.
Instead of...
Yeah, we had that conversation.
Yeah. But did it really come down to that? It really came down to the conversation my dad sitting all of us down and going, each one of us at a time and going, all right, son, so you're going to pay for your own college. I can't help you. Thanks, goodbye. And that's what it was.
Suitcase.
Yeah, and it wasn't so much that, and it was like, well, what do we do? And not to say that he didn't help. He helped tremendously. I really appreciate it, but I think we were homeschooled, if any of you guys were wondering, and I think it never crossed to my mind to ever go to film school, to me. Like, we'd worked all those features, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is exactly what I want to do. I don't want to sit in a room and learn about the industry. I want to be out in the industry working and making connections and actually physically working on the gear. Not saying that it's the quickest way to get into the industry. It's just maybe the most growth that you can have in one setting,
But the positives of going to film school, like what the positives, the professors, their connections, the people you meet while you're there, your coworkers, your colleagues, those connections last you. It's like an instant.
It's both ways.
Yeah, it's like an instant introduction into having connections in the film industry instead of like us, where we started with one connection, two connections, three connections, and you spent a lot of time networking around your area, around driving to other cities and meeting new people, hopping on projects. When you're out on that project, you're networking with as many people as you can on set. So those are things that we had to do that we didn't just get handed to us in terms of a college.
And you're not having a school repping you. They're not
True.
telling
Because,
you.
I mean, it was like that a couple I think it was a couple months ago. I asked this one photographer, we were talking on set, and I asked her how she got straight from film school to an agency. And it was really interesting to see how she did that, and it was through her professor and through her college, because there are a lot of companies who hire direct from college or from film school. And so there's like almost like a percentage that you'll be hired from having a degree.
There is. I think in some sense the industry has gotten away from, hey, where's your certificate that you went to film school, to, okay, what have you done? Send me some links of your work, and then if it looks good, then I mean all the time
what's
we
your
get
rap
people.
sheet?
Yeah, what's your rap sheet? Like, what have you done? IMDb is where people go usually. They go, oh yeah, you worked on da 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 da. Okay, cool, awesome. Let's have you on. Or it's a person recommending you, saying that you worked well, and that's
which one's better?
You know your shit. It depends, man. It depends. Here's what I would say. I think it's a still good thing to go to these master classes and to go learn from other people and pay to actually learn from the professionals in the industry. Getting a certificate in distribution, electrical distribution, and being an electrician, all that stuff needs to be learned. Learning to be a good AC, learning to do sound, all that stuff. We're doing a lot of our stuff on YouTube, which isn't the best way, and out on the field, learning all the stuff, just by
trial and
picking
error.
it up, and working with it. But both of them have their disadvantages and advantages. I just preferred, and I really liked where we went with just, working, and I loved it, being 18 out on the road.
Yeah.
Traveling all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're
Having no sleep, running off of coffee.
Yeah.
out in the rain, changing tires.
Yep.
That also brings to the same subject of film students.
Well, here's what I would say. I think film students in my neck of the woods, which is St. Louis, gets a bad rap.
They do.
Because they don't, when they come out, everyone's like, yeah, they're green. You know what I mean? And they don't know. I mean, you can,
It's like if you go, it's like street smarts. You walk into a city, you're like a country kid, you're a green city boy. You don't have the street smart in order to know where the best places to eat, what not to do, where not to go, when to go, when times you can't go somewhere.
And it's usually just basic things too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of situations, and I've heard this from pretty much every DP or director we've ever worked with when it comes to film students, is that they do not have a understanding whatsoever of on-set etiquette.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just basic.
Or terms.
Exactly, or terms, just the lingo, for example. Like, it's hard, it's kind of strange to think that an industry that produces the entire entertainment, segment of our culture, also operates underneath of a inside of a linguistic a construct that most people, even if you go to film school, they don't understand.
Yeah.
Because it's very specific, and it's, people expect you to be able to understand precisely what they're asking you to do.
Yep.
And when you walk on set and you have no idea, somebody has to take a time out of their day to teach you, even though they thought you were previously student in a film school that which should have taught you the very said thing.
Yeah. To me, it's like when I get a grip on, you didn't see
Quote
me
sign, yeah.
You didn't see me do the air quotes. And the producer's like, hey, they're from film school. He's wanting to be. He will just put you on as a grip, like a PA grip or something like that, or a swing. And you're like, okay, I'm just gonna assume that he doesn't know anything that I'm talking about, and just explain, and then let him tell me what he knows, and just go from there. And sometimes, like, what cracks me up about that is that you have, film students are like, hey, so what have you worked on? They're like, what, man, I've worked on 4 or 5 short films, and and I'm like, well, are those thesis films? He's like, well, yeah, but those are just. I'm like, bro, I said, that's not. I mean, that's not.
No disrespect, but that's not a short film.
No,
that's a thesis.
Yeah,
that's
it's
nothing.
controlled. It's controlled
there's
chaos.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
They're nothing even close to the same.
I had someone explain what cracked me up about it was that, and we can talk about this in a minute, but the idea that film, like being on film sets and things like that, is like going to a new high school almost every single month. You go, if you don't really know anybody on the film set and you just get introduced by either a friend or recommended by a friend, you walk in, there's 30, 40 people, 50 people that you have no idea who they are, how they interact, how you guys are going to interact, and you're just going to have to work and around and feel people out and try to do that. And it's every single month or every other month,
Yep.
that you're working. So it's interesting, super interesting.
Yeah, and that dynamic changes when you go into commercial realm or features or
Yeah.
like commercials. You're going to be there for maybe 3 days to
But you're gonna know the same. You're gonna know once you start working in the
Yeah.
city quite a lot. You're gonna know the people that are doing the commercial work, and they're always gonna just be there, and you're gonna start recommending those people. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was how do you get into the industry? And it's not so much when I say that is what do you tell someone when they want to learn? And when I say that, like, how do they intern? How do they get in front of people that are going to get them the internships? How do they get on a film set? How do they get on a feature film? Where do they go to travel? Where do they, you know what I mean? Like, I had a friend or had a guy recently, a couple weeks ago, that was asking the same questions to me. It was like, what do you guys do? How did you guys start? That's the question of the day. It's like email. But
a lot of emails.
yeah. What would you guys say to him?
How do you get on the set?
How do you get on the set? How do you get people to recognize that you want to be there and you get the call?
Well,
And I say that because in a sense of like the guy that I met,
Sure.
he did everything by the book of what I would have done. I got there, he introduced himself, he shook my hand, he said, I'll buy you coffee. He bought the other guy coffee, and I was like, yeah, this is textbook what I would have done. This is what we've done. For anybody that we're trying to talk to. And try to get
thing.
And so it's like in that question, it's not so much about what happens on set. I think we've worked with the guy once or twice. I think he's great. His work ethic is not in question. The question is, how do you get there? How do you get to be the person that gets the call? Or how do you be the person that how do you find it? How do you find the people that are looking for
honestly, I don't think there's a guarantee that you will find it. I mean, I think everything is, we keep saying trial and error, but really what that is you just accepting the mediocre fact that you either have one of two choices. You either spend money to go get someone teach you how to do this, or you chase somebody to do something for free.
Yeah.
And one takes a lot more effort than the other, in my opinion.
Yep.
Because one is where you're like, here, I've given you money, now you must teach me how to do this, which, my personal opinion, they don't teach you enough.
They don't teach you the right things.
They don't. Yeah. They don't teach you the basics, but the other, which is you having to be an entrepreneur of your own and chasing projects left and right. I mean, again, nobody in their right mind, I say that, I mean, there are some limitations to this, but in most cases a professional set of any sort will be able to look at the situation and say, yes, he wants to come onto the project, we can't pay him. If it is pro bono, that is perfectly fine. Take the job. I mean, you're not spending any more money than it takes you to drive down there. And work, learn, get underneath with these people. Like, I mean, the whole concept is to build a relationship with them, and having a professional attitude alongside of that with a willingness to learn is going to leave an impression, because people who come from film school, they don't have that.
I think the way you're going to get hired onto another set, let's say you do a pro bono and you walk on, or you come back a couple weeks later and you hear about another project, right? The only way you'll hear about another project is if you've built a relationship with one of the people on set, or one of the people who are a decision maker. And so in order to do that, there's a lot of ways you can either just meet up with them, sit down, talk with them, say, hey, what can I help you with? Is there anything I can do for you? Is there any jobs I could help you with? Is there anything that I could offer? And I think in terms of first time meetings, a good way of walking into them is saying, it doesn't matter what the project is, what or where, give me a call, I'll do it for free. It doesn't matter. So
what you said is walk into them, see just,
yeah.
Oh shit, here, I'll do everything and anything you want, like literally anything you want. Please, here's coffee.
Yeah.
No, I think the other thing is like go to, and I didn't do this for like the first couple projects we did, because I never even wanted to be on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I even hate Instagram. But that being said, what I would do is go, when you get on these features, even a short film, get on a short film, friend everybody there, and then go to the person and say, hey, is there anybody you would recommend me or tell me about that would want it, that are looking for PAs or whatever you want to do, looking for a second AC, first AC. They're gonna go, yeah. I think, and the friends that they're friends with are posting on Facebook saying, hey, I'm looking for a first AC. That's how like
because
a lot
they're
of
in
the
the
jobs
world that you want to get to.
Yeah, that's a lot of the jobs. So they're sitting around,
Yep.
they're sitting around a script read, and they're like, yeah, we're looking for a first AC or a second AC, and they're oh yeah,
I know this guy.
I know this kid. Yeah, I know this kid.
Yep.
Boom.
And that's all it takes.
Give
it just takes one time.
give Ryan a call.
Yep.
And there are a lot of Facebook groups. There's a lot of there's
the resources at the end of your fingertips, which when I say that, it's the end of your phone.
Yeah.
It's endless. There's absolutely.
Yeah, and I would say go to Instagram, go to Facebook, friend these people, and be consistent. I think the main thing for them. For you, if you want to be a PA, we'll just use I'm going to use a PA as an example. If you want to be a PA, post about you being on a PA job. And if you want inspiration about how to shoot all your jobs in one month, and you don't even have to work, you can. It's all about the perception. Is go check out James Kinsey, his Instagram page, and just message him about how he switched ball caps. The guy is a master.
Just bring 10 sets of clothes.
He's a master at this fake illusion of doing things. Yeah. You message him like, dude, that's so dope, and he's like, yeah, I did that about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. I did that last summer, but he'll post date it as the day that he posted it. It's amazing, dude. Go check him out. Free link, by the way, or free tag. But anyway, I would do that. The people that they're gonna hire most are the people that they trust and the people that are front of mind, and that's the main thing.
Oh, for sure. Well, I think like on top of that as well, like consistency and communication is massive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get done with the end of a project. One of the best things I think that's ever happened to me personally is that we DP'd a job about 2 years ago, or I DP'd a job about 2 years ago, and after we got done with the project, the first AC. Which this was the first time I'd ever worked with him. The first AC messaged me and said, "Hey man, I really appreciated working with you. You did a great job, and I think that we really clicked. So I just wanted to say thank you." That set the tone for me. Like,
is that Moon?
No. This was Taylor actually.
Taylor.
Yeah, great guy, and he's actually been one of the ACs that I've worked with consistently for the past 2 years or so.
Yeah.
But that left an impression on me. Like, I'd never worked with a guy, before that. I didn't know who he was, anything. But just that one message where he and I had chatted, just briefly, and him saying thank you, like, it set a tone. It was it was respectful. B, he did so like the day after the project, and then C, there was like a trust that was built out of that. Because he was being honest.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to say, okay, not only did I like his work ethic, but he has character to him.
That sounded like something Moon. I don't think any here and I feel like we need to do just a whole segment, and maybe this
About
will be something.
Moon.
No, we need to do a whole segment about characters that we've met on set.
Yeah.
And I say that because we could go for hours talking about some of the people that we work with. Moon would be he would be on the top of that.
Just for a little context, I won't go deep into this, but he was the first AC that we got the chance to work with on
a couple projects.
On a couple of projects, and he was a character, if not an archetype for all the best of ACs.
I can't. We named him so many things. I remember. I think I named him the Unprofessional Moon. I think that's what I called him, the Unprofessional Moon.
His actual name was Sharashandra. And I would say that to him just in passing, and he just laugh and say, "That's my name, boss."
Yeah, he'd say that too a lot.
Best
boss.
guys I've ever known.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on? That was his question about everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is going on? No.
Amber, yeah, what's the plan?
What's the plan?
What's the plan? What was she? Was she AD?
Yeah.
She was second AD.
She was AD, but she was also the person that would coordinate the fun after the shoot. And so
she was
he was
fun
like
lady. Yeah,
he was like they would just go out to a bar or something, but like he would go, Amber, what's the plan?
That was almost more important than hearing like cut or like, all right guys, that's a wrap. No one cared about that. All they wanted to hear was hear Moon say like, all right, Amber.
He'd be loading up the truck, and and you would just hear him inside, Amber, what's the plan?
Good memories.
Miss that guy.
But yeah, I mean, in the same sense of, you know, what we've been talking, I mean, again, for anybody that has, you know, a little bit of intuition, you'll already notice that just based off of the conversations that we're having, I mean, we're talking about a guy that we met at random, and the impression that he left based off of his character and his attitude while working on set, it changed everything. And it set, like, well, first off, it did set a huge standard for us for, you know, moving forward with what type of people we wanted to work with. But
we're lucky.
Yeah, in the same light of that, though, it really boils down to you being consistent, being respectful, being humble, you know, and just learning to be a go-getter, you know, because, like, in the industry, by the way, people want to say, go out there and say, like, oh, it's wolf, you know, dog eat dog, wolf on wolf sort of situation. You know, I would say that, you know, in light of being respectful for your other creatives and other, you know, entrepreneurs, there is a choice that you're going to have to make if you so choose to not go into film school, which is that anything and everything that is going to come to you will have to come through an avenue of your, you know, own work and you know, discretion. You're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to chase it. You're going to have to put in some legwork, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I think for the three of us, and I can only speak for us personally, I wouldn't trade it, not for anything. Yeah. I wouldn't go to film school, not in a million years. It has changed my life on how I see, you know, both the industry, and, you know, my appreciation for the people I've worked with has, you know, been increased 1,000-fold just from the experience that I've had.
Yeah. I say this a lot, and I say this just because people agree with me, and then there's a subtext to it. Because they're like, you know, people are like, it's a dog-eat-dog world, but I don't see it like that. You know, I don't fight. We're all right for the project. And I'm like, no. I say, we're a wolf pack, man. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. But a lot of people don't know that there's a hierarchy in that wolf pack, and we're on top. We're the alpha. Leave us alone. That's what I want to be. It's like, no, we're a wolf pack, but make sure you stay in your place. Anyway, yeah, I think we're going to move on to the section, which is everyone's favorite section of, and it might be people just skip to this section. We're going to talk about movies, things that we're watching now, in real time, in the Brothers 3.
Yeah.
What
has tickled our fancies?
Yeah, the horrible discussions of what we watch.
Good and bad.
Good and bad.
It sounded like we were about to talk about something really gruesome.
Yeah.
Of the stories of the things we watch.
Yeah. So there was this, so yeah, recently. So let me tell you how things work. One of us will watch a film, and then we'll be sitting downstairs having coffee the next morning, and someone will go, you know what? I just watched this really cool film. Or a TV show that's really cool. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then probably 2 days later, we're sitting in a room going like, nah, I don't know what to do. And it's like, all right, let's pull this film up. 3 days later, we're addicted, and we're just binging this film. I'm one of the people that when I watch something, it's almost like a goal. I have to finish it, like fast. And I love a good story, and that's my main thing. Is like I love a good story, and guaranteed a lot of the shows. I'm not even gonna tell you how many shows I've watched because it's not too many, but some of them are embarrassing. But some of it's not about the and that's why I say it's not all about the story. Sometimes it's about a goal. It's like when you finish something. When
it can also be just about like the emotion you get from it. You know, whether it's like I found myself becoming, you know, more and more attracted to the concept of watching TV shows specifically because I absolutely love TV shows. I love the format. I love how it works. But it's the feeling you get from watching a world. Because when they build an environment or an atmosphere around the constructs of the world they've created, whether it's in fantasy or in the real time, there's something addictive of putting yourself into that realm. You know,
I think it might be something that we've just grown up with because I think and one of the shows that we're all watching. Well, I'm kind of in the middle.
We're all watching.
Is Grimm. And it's a sci-fi.
Well, it's not really sci-fi, but it's like fantasy world. It's based off of the Grimm brothers books. You know, with the entire, you know,
the acting is It's the camera work CGI is But if you look at back what we've watched before, if you look at Narnia, the reason why we love Narnia is the character, like the universe. Lord of the Rings, same way, love the universe. Harry Potter, love the universe. Grimm is one of those things when I start watching it, when you guys start talking about it.
The characters are not that great.
No, but it's the world.
It's how many universe.
How many damn characters are in it?
It's the content that's within
and there's no
universe.
There's no Wonder Woman. Of like, in a sense of like, there's no immune character.
Yeah.
in the entire movie.
There's no God character.
Yeah,
But
there's
God-
no
God
like,
is
oh
worse,
well,
yeah.
you can't touch me. If you shoot me, I don't die.
Yeah.
You know.
What gets me about it, and what's is interesting, and you have to be very careful because if Philip will come down and say, "Hey, I've been watching this really cool show." We're like, "Okay, what's that?" And he's like, "It was Golden Girls," and we're like, "Well, that's not."
I knew it.
I knew it. No. No, there's just some things right now that we're watching, like Grimm. If we want to talk about Grimm, let's do it.
We talked. Why I watched a couple weeks ago, The Pacific.
Oh, the newest one?
Yeah, it's the miniseries from HBO.
Oh, okay.
Oof, it's gruesome. It's, but
R-rated?
yeah,
Okay.
What show?
The
the Pacific.
Oh no,
It's like Chernobyl and then the Pacific.
oh
Yeah.
that's dope.
It's like we said Band of Brothers, but like in the specific.
Yeah,
like,
it's
more-
the Pacific War with Japan, like to Iwo
Oh,
Jima
wow.
and Okinawa.
Never.
Or is it following the naval? Or is it following the Marines?
Marines.
Wow. So it's
I'm,
land invasion.
I'm absolutely gonna watch that.
Yeah.
And that there you go. Idea
story.
born. Yeah, idea born.
Another.
I'm gonna be.
I have this.
binging
I have
another
this.
show.
I have this problem where I will start watching a TV show, and if it disinterests me, or if there's not enough story within amount of episodes, I will instantly just stop watching it. It doesn't matter if it's at the end of a series, at the end of an episode, middle of an episode, I'll just stop. I can't do it. I can't keep watching something that doesn't have any.
To me, my hope never fades, man. And to me, it's like I can watch. They were just talking about it before the episode. They were like, "When did you start watching Grimm?" And I said, "I've been at season 2, and I started watching it last night." Like, it's like, and that's what
like
how many
23
episodes?
episodes,
And
24?
they're about 40 minutes long each.
Yeah.
I skip. And maybe it's just knowing, and maybe it's not knowing. Maybe it's just because I do it all the time. But it's like that's fluff. Oh, there's meat. That's fluff. Exposition. Oh, there's what I need.
There's also moments where you do that, but I'll go to like synopsis of a series and see if I like the synopsis before I continue watching. It's like I don't really in my
Dude, I honestly don't even read.
I
synopsis.
used to do that, but then I stopped because I became annoyed at of knowing what was going to happen. So, for example, I watched The Boys, Amazon's The Boys.
That's R-rated.
It is bloody and
my
disgusting.
goodness.
You watched it, right? Yeah.
Couple
So,
episodes I couldn't take it.
dude, I loved that film. It was odd. It was wild. It was
Was it a
weird.
film
it was
or is it a TV
No,
show?
it's a TV series.
Okay.
But it's bizarre. I mean, the overall concept is that they call supers.
These are not-
soups.
The Pacific and The Boys are not TV shows you want to be showing your children.
Yeah, anyone
Let's
under
just say
16,
that.
probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
But no, like I watched it all the way through. I totally enjoyed the universe. The major concept is people are trying to kill supers.
Yeah.
Normal people are figuring out ways to kill supers.
Well,
And that's awesome.
Yeah.
But the other one, which by the way, I'm very, very impressed that they brought this back into the I guess I want to say meta, but it's more of just like the genre of film, is Carnival Row. I stinking love every single aspect about that show. The cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. They did a fantastic job on the visual side. It stars
Orlando Bloom.
Bloom and Cara Delevingne. Amazing, stinking, dude. And the best. Wow, I've been a huge Orlando Bloom fan for a while, just because of his
you're on the Orlando band.
Yeah. No, but just his whole career with it when it comes to like Pirates of the Caribbean, I think that was fantastic. He's been in a few things since then that have been good, but this is his best role, straight up best role that he's done in a long time. And him being the lead is huge. I don't think I've ever particularly saw Orlando playing like a lead role in many films, but this suits him so stinking well.
Yeah.
But I would highly recommend for anybody out there that that's interested in that sort of thing to go watch it. It is a great show. It's definitely not meant for children, but it is absolutely beautiful. The best part about it is the world that it built. It built such a stinking good world. The universe of that era
How they tied it together.
is so stinking. It's so beautiful. It's one of the best that I've seen. But yeah, I know we're getting off on tangents of just random things we watched.
No, but that's what this whole
Yeah.
section's about. We did watch recently in theater for the first time in probably the first time in a while. Sounded weird. What was the name of that?
Peanut Butter Falcon.
Peanut Butter Falcon. Yeah, that film was interesting, and I say that because Austin and I kept looking at each other in the film, going, "There's cheesy parts," and it just felt unreal. I feel like later in the film it got way more real. Maybe it was just the script writing and dialogue, but the dialogue felt more real. But like, just the beginning part of it, well, I was laughing, like that the old guy in the nursing home, and like the old engineer, like died
using
laughing.
his cane and some handkerchiefs.
Yeah, and then
pry bars,
lathering himself up, and so I think it also made it more comedic that he was running around in his underwear, like all over, you know.
Yeah.
Some of the boat chasing stuff was super original, and like, you know, I knew it was gonna happen. It just got there, but you know, I think it was good.
It was a fantastic film. I think in that situation, which for those that want a comparison, I'd say it's similar to Mud, as in like its color, its design, like the atmosphere of it, but it's built off of a lot more humor.
Matthew McConaughey
performance is different, obviously. Amazing. I think Shia LaBeouf was fantastic.
He nailed the role.
I think his role was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But I do think that like when it comes to, you know, well, to start with, we did have a lot of people that we knew that worked on the film, and you know, obviously they did a fantastic job. I think visually it's great, but I do feel, and I agree with Curtis, that there is a sense of maybe just a little bit of like, I almost want to call it like a festival disease, because if you notice that there have been films that have been released into theaters that have won at like festivals, whether it be, you know, SXX, or SXS, if I can say it correctly, or other, you know, larger film festivals, and they've, you know, been given awards, best audience film, whatever. But when they hit the theaters, there's like a hollow feeling that comes along with it, because there's some like emptiness within the screenwriting. There's some cheesiness within what the characters choose to do, you know.
The Swiss Army Man.
Yeah.
With Daniel Radcliffe. That movie was a good movie. It was a very good movie, and the acting was fantastic. The story was fantastic, but it still held that like
there's
indie type of feel to it. I'm not sure how you or where
it's hard to
gap
quantify
is.
Exactly what that is.
That's totally ruined one of our cousins.
What?
He won't even hang out with us anymore.
What, Swiss Army Man?
Yeah, you don't remember who we went and watched that with?
No.
Nick. That was the first film that I've ever seen with Nick, and he was like, "What film do you guys want to go watch?" We're like, "Dude, let's go see this," because we loved the trailer, and like we watched it. It was just nothing but this guy farting on screen, and like we walked down the film. He's like, "I paid $10 to see that." We're all like, "Dude, it's amazing!"
Yeah.
And like
he was
like
so confused.
He was so confused.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I remember. I'll never forget that, looking over at he's just sitting there like, and like the guys on the beach like. I'm like, hey, we're dying. And like,
we're dying laughing because we get what they're trying to say, and like it's just great humor. No, that is definitely on the same vibe with that. But like in all seriousness, like those films, I mean, as good as they are, they do carry over traits of like a lot more of an indie feel to it. Which again, I don't think that's a fault.
Thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. I just think it's something you can tell and you can feel.
I absolutely love that scene where he was like, he turns around to whatever their names are and goes, "I told you he's real." I told, like, his acting in that moment was just like spot on, and it was like, all right, yep, I like it.
Yeah. What's his name? I think his actual name is Zach.
Zach.
Yeah. The actor who played the Down syndrome character, which he is, his name is Zach Gottesgen, I think is how you say his name. Don't quote me on that. I believe it's German. But he is a fantastic actor, and he filled the role very, very stinking well.
And it sheds light onto an area of film or an area of life that isn't touched very often.
No one touches that. Yeah,
cinema at all. And I think it was like,
yeah,
yes,
it was good. It was really good. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Dakota, what's her name? What's the actress's name?
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, I've never seen her act before in anything that I've ever seen. What has she done?
Dude, what cracks me up about that is that people are... oh, wait. Did I say Dakota Fanning? I'm such a dumbass.
What has she done?
No. Dakota Johnson. No. So, here, let me just pull up her list, which is funny that you say that. 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, that's not even movies. That's just... We all know what that is. I don't have to say it.
That's adult content.
Yeah, it's adult content.
Yeah.
That's all that is. It's just it's like it's rated
Fantasy.
For that. Yeah.
She was in Black Mass with Johnny Depp, and I think I thought she did really well on that.
I don't even remember that movie.
I think what was the other film that I remember? I mean, she was in Need for Speed.
Yeah,
but
that
what was the
long
other film
time
that she
ago.
was? Is it Date Switch? Oh, she was in The Office, for like an episode or two.
What?
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean like
That's crazy. Yeah, that's why I didn't recognize her.
yeah.
was
But
like-
usually you expect her to be like pretty much naked and being thrown all up her room.
Yeah.
And that's like I have not actually seen those films. I haven't watched a single one of them.
Dude, no,
They're
it's
not
old,
for
dude,
men.
no,
You'd be surprised at how many
it's
dudes
for,
have seen
it's
it.
for middle-aged women that have that just want to dream, like you know what I mean, like
let
come
them
on.
dream.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care, like you know what I mean, like they're just we all know what they are. They're adult films that have been just put into the theater for
Yeah, they're softcore.
that's all it is. Like you know what I mean, like that's what it is. It's reality. That's what it is.
Crazy.
But
Our society, man.
Our society, wow, our
But-
generation. I can just see the pitch room. So, it's a bunch of old guys. What do you guys want to make now? We can sync. There's these really
Remember how we pushed the edge? And
Yeah,
boundary of naked
yeah.
women?
There's like
Let's
these-
take it to the next level.
There's like these books that are like erotica, and like I think we can make them R-rated, maybe even M-rated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could just
X-rated.
Yeah, we could just cast, and put it on screen, and it'll blow up, make millions. People love that stuff. I can just see that conversation happening. But yeah. Well, it is what it is, man. It's what sells in our industry. I don't even know how much money those films made. I don't even want to know, but it's like 3 million.
No, 3. Oh, how much they made in
Oh,
general?
money was
Billions.
billions.
Oh yeah, they made a ton of money.
Well,
Guys make more money on CD sales.
Oh, that's insane how much
Replays.
money they made.
wow.
But
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you guys for joining us on today's podcast. If you have any questions, feel free to, use the hashtag Theory of 3, and we will probably never see that because no one wants to listen to this podcast. But anyway, we will catch you next time, and thank you for listening.